Summary Part 1 of the play. The setting is in Makuru's hut built on stilts, infested with mosquitoes and flies. The furniture is sparse and of no value as the couple are busy with some chores. Alu is worried about Igwezu, who has just returned from the city and has gone to see his farm, whose crops have been ruined. Makuru comforts her that Igwezu knows his way and he is a grown-up man with a wife and that he will come back home safely. She is anxious to get news about Awuchike, whom she considers dead, because no word has been heard from him since he left for the city 10 years ago. She wants to go out to search for Igwezu, but her husband restrains her and assures her that all will be okay. Makuri also assures her that Awuchike is still alive and that he is out there in the city struggling like every young man. Alu is skeptical if Igwezu had seen his brother while at the city, and Makuru tells him that being twins, it is but clear that their circumstances of their birth might have drawn them together, and also tells his wife that when the traders had visited the village, they had asked if Igwezu has a twin brother, which is already an indication that they might have seen somebody who looks like Igwezu in the city. Therefore, he will not perform a death ritual for his son that he knows is still alive. In retrospection, Makuru recalls about the traders who used to come from the city and had relationship with some of the women in the village. Nevertheless, he praises Alu's fidelity. Despite her attractiveness, she had remained faithful to him, and he tells her that no man could boast of having had a wife who is as faithful as Alu. The couple also retrospects about the consummation of their marriage in the swamp, and they had been blessed by twins. They regret that the younger generation wants to leave the village as soon as they have the opportunity, and none has ever taken their wives to enjoy the fellowship with the serpent in the swamp. Alu woos Desala for Igwezu, and hardly had they gotten married than he had taken her to the city. Makuru regrets that the city ruins young men because they think only about money. Some abandon their wives, abandon their children and parents without a word about their welfare. This is the case of Gonush's son and of Awuchike. The couple believes that Igwezu had come back to the village just to see his crops, but that is not the case. They believe that he will be rushing back to Desala, but there is much more that needs to be heard from him. Alu feels sorry that her son had made such a long journey only to meet a ruined farm. It is a great disappointment for him after such hard work and expectation. The couple hears footsteps and they believe that it is Igwezu, but it is that of a stranger. He is a beggar and he is blind. From this section, we should take note of the general poverty that characterizes the lives of the swamp dwellers. The furniture in Makuru's household is sparse, old, and of no value. Also take note of the misery which is aggravated by the destruction of the crops by floods, which adds to Igwezu's frustration. Also take note that Makuru evokes the infidelity of women who date and follow some of the traders back to the city because of the money that they brandish in front of them, highlighting materialism. Alu also loves Igwezu, and this is manifested by her desire to see that her son comes back home safe, especially as she considers Awuchike as a lost son. There is contrast between the old and the young generation with regards to spirituality. The old generation is family-oriented and believe in the potency of the serpent, whereas the younger generation is very materialistic and less religious and adventurous. These elements already build up facts in the play which will be able to make us to understand why Igwezu had not succeeded in the city.